Hello everyone, this is Anish Verma and you are listening to the Empower Your Mind for Success podcast. 4 years ago, I was at a point in my life when I realized I had to make major changes if I wanted to succeed in my businesses. I had realized that I need to model my habits, my behavior on people who I consider successful. And I started doing that. The three things that I understood in terms of behavior or habits that I needed to emulate were reading every day, exercising every day, and surrounding myself with people who would be willing to help me become successful in my endeavors, which is basically mentors. So I started doing that, and I started reading a lot. There was one book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill that was available free, in the Books app on an iPhone. And I started reading the book, but I never could read it more than a page or two. I don't think I was that motivated to read that book for some reason. And Think and Grow Rich is the granddaddy of all motivational books, but I never read it for one reason or the other. And three and a half years into my journey where I was reading multiple books a month, I finally ended up reading Think and Grow Rich. Actually, I attended a group study. And I attended 2 group studies on Think and Grow Rich, and my mind was blown. And it kind of brought together a lot of the concepts and connected them for me in my mind that I was reading about. So I thought I will share a little bit about 10 books that I believe every entrepreneur should read. I will be launching a book on this very soon. If any one of you needs this book, an ebook, please send me a message or an email. You can find me at www.empowermindset.coach, and I will send that book to you. But let me cover the 10 books I wanted to talk to you about today, and I'll give you, a couple of lines or things that I took away from the book that helped me on my journey to now becoming successful with my businesses, where I've started making money with my businesses, and earlier I could not. So the first book I wanted to talk about was Think and Grow Rich, even though that was not the main book I read earlier in my reading career, but I wanted to cover that book. So Think and Grow Rich was written by Napoleon Hill in 1937 after 25 years of research he conducted on 25,000 Americans. And he covered topics like desire, faith, affirmations, imagination, persistence, decision making, the brain, the subconscious mind, and brought all these things beautifully together, right? And he really put things into perspective, and why we really can change our destiny if we change the way we think was really confirmed by him. One of the quotes that I remember from Think and Grow Rich is a quitter never wins and a winner never quits. A must read book for everybody, whether you are an entrepreneur or not, but a must read book. The next book, or the second book, is Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Whenever I think of Darren Hardy, 2 things come to my mind: persistence, and consistency. Right? Darren always talks about success, and he says that success is the result of doing small things every day and not big things every now and then. Right? So Darren is all about consistency and persistence. He has written multiple books, but Compound Effect is a really good book that we should all read. The next book number 3, Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz, written in 1987. One thing that David Schwartz talks about in this book that I always remember is motion precedes emotion. And this was a pivoting moment in my life where I understood how I can change my belief systems and my thoughts and my eventually my results. When he says motion precedes emotion, what it basically means is, it's not about, oh, I'm not in a mood so I cannot do this, or I don't feel energetic today so I cannot do this. It's not the emotion that comes first. Motion comes first, and which is then followed by emotion. So think about it, right? If you want to feel happy, you need to smile first, right? You need to go to a happy place. You need to take action. You need to do something in order to feel something, right? So that really helped me a lot. A notion that your feelings and mood is maybe more in your control and less on external circumstances was liberating for me. It's an amazing book, Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz, a must read again, and a book that had a significant impact on my trajectory. The book number 4, Start With Why, by Simon Sinek. I've already mentioned about this book. This book really changed my life. It really made me step back and think why I am doing what I am doing. And it basically put the entire emphasis on the why instead of the how and the what. The golden circle that Simon talks about. And, why is your purpose, right? And there are several TED Talks on this topic, Start With Why by Simon Sinek, something that you should look it up on YouTube, watched 47 million plus times. An amazing book. Book number 5 is Go Giver, right? And the Go Giver book is written by Bob Burg and John David Mann. And they basically have created this beautiful, a story, a business novel about an amazing idea. And they talk about 5 laws of stratospheric success, right? And they talk about 5 laws in this book that if we can adapt, we will all become successful, right? So the 5 laws are law of value, law of compensation, law of influence, law of authenticity, and law of receptivity. A fabulous book. Book number 6 is What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. We covered this book yesterday a little bit when I was talking about neuroplasticity. And, Dr. Shad Helmstetter, who wrote this book, basically, identified the neuroplasticity rule, which basically is a scientific discovery that talks about how we can rewire our belief system by rewiring our brain by repetitively doing things that will reshape us and that will allow us to improve our self-image and self-confidence. You can Google him. He has a website where he gives away or where you can buy audios, affirmation audios that will help you in your journey. Book number 7 by John Maxwell, Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. Now, John Maxwell has written more than 75 books, guys, and he used to be a priest. And he then eventually got into writing books, and now he is the most highly paid non-celebrity public speaker. I am a John Maxwell team member. I will be soon certified. I'll be soon certified as a John Maxwell mentor and a public speaker. But John Maxwell is an amazing influencer. One thing that comes to mind when I think about John Maxwell is his point that leadership is influence, nothing more and nothing less. And in this book about Everyone Communicates, Few Connect, he talks about how connecting increases your influence in every situation. And in today's world where we are all virtually connected with each other through social media and other platforms, connecting with people will increase your influence, which basically means it can improve your compensation or the money that you make. Book number 8, Atomic Habits by James Clear. A fabulous book about how habits are formed, how you can deconstruct a habit, how you can break old habits, how you can set a good system to build habits. And James Clear talks about how you can build identity-based habits. right? I always talk about your who and who helps you, and your why, your purpose is basically very, very important in life. That basically will drive you, will give you the fuel to continue moving on a certain path. And James talks about how, with identity based habits, which means, who you are, or who you want to become, which is your why, the focus is on who you wish to become through identity based habits, right? And he does a fabulous job in this book at Atomic Habits. It's a relatively new book, but an amazing book written on how habits are formed, and how you should and you can change your habits. Book number 9, Fight for Your Dream by Ruben Gonzalez. Ruben Gonzalez was a bobsledder Olympian, 4 times Olympian, and he talks about how the Harvard Business School study that was conducted on students for 20 years, and they found out that 3% of moneymakers made as much money as the rest of the 97% put together. The only difference between the two groups was the top 3% wrote and regularly read their goals. And we have covered the topic about why goal setting and reading your goals every day is so important. Book number 10, $1 Million Habits by Brian Tracy. Now, Brian is an authority figure on public speaking. He has his own company, Brian Tracy International, I believe. He's a very amazing mentor and a public speaker. In this $1 Million Habits book, he basically compiles a lot of habits that a successful person should have, right? And he talks about why some people are more successful than the others, right? And he applies the 80-20 rule very well. He says that the only limits the only limits are the ones we impose on ourselves with our own limited thinking. And he says that 80% of constraints or roadblocks we are facing in our lives are basically are the ones that are within us. They are not external, they are internal. And this is something very, very interesting, guys. This is good news, basically, which means that if we change ourselves, our belief systems, our thought processes, our faith, and try to comply with the laws of universe, we will become more successful, right? We are more in control of our success than not. And this is fabulous news. This is liberating for me. And, this was another book that was simply fabulous. I'll go back to, book number 7, I believe, or 8, right? Atomic Habits. One thing that James talks about in this book is that if we improve ourselves 1% every day, right? Every day, if we try to improve ourselves by just one teeny tiny 1%, we will be 37 times better by the end of the 12th month. So guys, think about this, right? This means that it will take us just 12 months to transform ourselves, right? To completely transform what we were. We can transform ourselves from version 1.0 to version 2.0 in 12 months if we improve ourselves 1% every day, just 1%. So these 10 books have had a profound impact on me and my businesses, people and listeners, right? So I strongly recommend reading these books. I'm sure there are a lot of other books out there, but these books had a great impact on me, and I thought I should share these books with you. I'll be writing about these books as well, a little bit summary about these books in an ebook, which I'm going to title Top 10 Books Every Entrepreneur Should Read. Again, if you need a free e-copy, just let me know, send me an email, or look me up on www.empowermindset.coach, and I will send you a free copy. Remember, you have unlimited potential. Own it. Thank you for listening. Until next time, take care.